What's going on, Giants fans? Welcome into New York Giants Now, and we have some breaking news or report from Pat Leonard surrounding Kadarius Toney, and he states that the Giants are looking to trade Kadarius Toney. They're making calls on what they can get for their former 2021 first-round draft pick, and he said this: the Giants are close to moving on from Kadarius Toney. They are investigating now how they can do so, leading up less than a week away from the 2022 NFL draft. We're going to break it all down in today's show. Not at the studio. I'm at my brother's house actually in Houston, Texas. We shoot from the studios in Dallas, Texas, but I had to come down to see my newborn nephew. Shout out Colin. Give him a shout out in the comment section. Show him some love. He's a Giants fan in the making. But this is why you subscribe, because we're not at the office. No fancy graphics, but we're still getting you guys the latest news and rumors. And Pat Leonard, he is stating that the Giants are going to look and have been looking to trade Kadarius Toney. And I think this all somewhat stems from him not showing up to voluntary workouts a couple of weeks ago. And now this past week, he wasn't at Giants voluntary minicamp. I understand it's voluntary. You don't have to go there. But for a wide receiver that struggled his first year, he had struggles on the field, off the field, and getting and staying on the field. He missed a lot of games. He had injuries. He got thrown out of a game because he threw a punch during a game against the Dallas Cowboys. He only played in exactly, let me get the exact stats. I think he only played in 10 games last year, 39 grabs, 420 yards, zero touchdowns. He had a long catch of 39 games. Yes, he played in 10 games last year, had four starts, 420 yards, but zero touchdowns. And he had some good games. I can't even lie. He showed flashes. What he did against the Dallas Cowboys when he went for 10 receptions for 189 yards, when he had Mike Glennon at quarterback, he had 7 grabs and 12 targets against the Tampa Bay Bucks, 6 grabs for 78 yards against the New Orleans Saints. He made big plays in those games. There's no doubt about it. We saw the type of player that Kadarius Toney can be. But if we've learned anything with receivers and having some, I don't even want to say off the field stuff, just the little things add up over and over and over again, it's not going to work in New York. Joe Shane, he has no ties to Kadarius Toney. He didn't pick him. Brian Dable, he didn't have anything to say about Kadarius Toney and him being picked to the New York Giants. So I'm not surprised if it's true from Pat Leonard that the Giants are looking to move on from Kadarius Toney. I mean, what a disaster that would be. Not only did the Giants trade back and select Kadarius Toney, they did get the 7th pick in this draft in that trade down last year with the Chicago Bears, but they passed up on great players like Micah Parsons, like Rashawn Slater. You passed up on Justin Fields. You passed up on Mac Jones. Not saying they're better than Daniel Jones, but I mean, is anybody convinced that Daniel Jones is better than they are? I think this is just crazy. I mean, the Giants, they're in a tumultuous spot right now. If Kadarius Toney is not willing to show up to voluntary workouts when you have a new head coach, you got a new general manager, you're not trying to impress those guys in a time in the NFL where the wide receiver market is exploding. Kadarius Toney has all pro talent. He has the ability to go and make 25, 20, $30 million per year. He has that type of talent, but it's up here. Does he want to do that? Does he want to be a national football player? Does he want to be a professional athlete? Does he want to be a New York Giant? Does he want to do what it takes to be great in the NFL? We haven't seen that out of him, and that's why we're here now. The Giants are potentially looking to trade him. So I want you to get in the comment section. A lot going on. Pat Leonard has a report. The Giants are looking to trade him. But I want to take the pulse of you guys in the comment section. I love doing so. Treat this like a radio call-in line, a back and forth conversation between me and you. Let me know. Do you want the Giants to trade Kadarius Toney? If you do, go down in the comments, type T for trade, or if you want to keep him, that's fine. You can go down in the comments and type K for keep. And I want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel here at New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. Not in the studio. I'm actually in the nursery of my newborn nephew. Had to get a video out for you guys, though. The grind does not stop. I made a promise we would be the first one to report Giants breaking news and rumors, and that's what we're doing today surrounding Kadarius Toney. Appreciate you clicking the video. If it's your first time watching, we're not in the studio. We usually got cool, fancy graphics. Check out our other videos. We'll have some linked in the comments and description of this video. But subscribe for free daily videos around the latest Giants news and rumors. And we're going to be going live this Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern, to discuss the latest Giants news and rumors, do a final mock draft, and then we're going to be going live for the NFL drafts, pick 5 and 7. So lock us in, hit that big red button, help us get to 8,000 subscribers. I mean, guys, Kadarius Toney. It's not even Kadarius Toney, actually. It's Dave Gettleman. Dave Gettleman is the gift that keeps on giving. His last pick of the New York Giants in the first round, if it's Kadarius Toney and the Giants trade him in 1 year, that's the most ultimate Dave Gettleman thing. At this point, it's F Dave Gettleman. Get it in the comment section. Type it out. Spam it. Do what you got to do. F Dave Gettleman. You can do FDG, whatever it is. It's F Dave Gettleman. I hate him. I know you hate him. He left the Giants in a terrible spot. He didn't do anything that he said he was going to do. He didn't fix the offensive line. He didn't fix the defensive pass rush. He didn't get the Giants playmakers. They're not a good football team when it comes to running the ball. All things Dave Gettleman said he would do, he did not do. So F Dave Gettleman in the comments. Get it in there. I want to see 100 FDGs in the comments. I mean, if the Giants trade Kadarius Toney, they're going to be left with a really slim wide receiver depth chart. You're going to have Kenny Golladay as your number one, someone that didn't score a touchdown last year. You got Sterling Shepard coming off an Achilles injury. And then you got Darius Slayton, someone that had about 8 drops last year. He continues to drop the football, but he showed some promise in prior years. I don't think he's a number 3 wide receiver. I think he's more of your 5th guy. But right now, if Kadarius Toney is gone, you're going to have Darius Slayton as your number 3. And I think that makes more of a need for wide receiver in the NFL draft. If you could trade Kadarius Toney, I don't think you're getting a first-round pick. I don't even think you're going to get a second-round pick. What are you going to get for him? A third-round pick? Maybe a fourth-round pick? I mean, once you drive a new car off the lot, it loses value. And that's what happens when you're a first-round pick in Kadarius Toney that didn't score last year. And now you got off-the-field stuff, and a team wants to trade you. You were a first-round pick, but now your value is probably a third or a fourth-round pick. So maybe do the Giants look, if they trade him, to go at a wide receiver at pick 36 or maybe even pick 7? Do you look at a guy like Garrett Wilson, maybe Chris Olave? There's a lot of great wide receivers in this draft, and if you move on from Kadarius Toney, that's a big need on this roster. Daniel Jones, this 5th-year option, in my opinion, and from what I'm hearing, is not going to be picked up. So this is going to be his last year under contract with the New York Giants. And if you can't put a serviceable wide receiver room around him with already a lackluster offensive line, you're doing the same thing that you've done the prior 3 years for Daniel Jones. Like John Mara said, we have done everything to F this kid up. And if Kadarius Toney is gone now, my, oh my, is it going to get ugly in East Rutherford for the New York Giants? Some teams that I think could trade for Kadarius Toney. What about the New York Jets? We knew they were in on Tyreek Hill. There was reports that they were willing to offer pick number 10 for him. And then there was a report that came out that the Jets could look to trade number 10 for DK Metcalf. What about the Kansas City Chiefs? Kadarius Toney with Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. If he could ever get his head on straight, that would be an awesome Tyreek Hill replacement. I think that's a possible landing spot. The Atlanta Falcons, they have no good wide receivers on their team, and especially with the Calvin Ridley news and him not playing this year, they have a strong need there. The Green Bay Packers, they signed Sammy Watkins, and him and Alan Lazard are their wide receiver 1 and their wide receiver 2. So they're going to need another wide receiver. Maybe he goes there. And then what about the Indianapolis Colts? We've heard them sniffing around Deebo Samuel. They were talking about trading for other wide receivers this year. They've gone big game hunting in free agency. They struck out a little bit, but we know that they are looking for a wide receiver. They've been tied to Terry McLaurin a little bit in trade rumors. So those are 5 teams I think that the Giants have maybe already been talking to if the Pat Leonard report is true. Jets, Chiefs, Falcons, Packers, Colts. To give you guys the news one more time, Pat Leonard went on TikTok, a very weird way to do it. I don't know if I even believe Pat Leonard. He has a lot of reports out there. He said Brian Dable was going to go to the Miami Dolphins. He said Matt Patricia was going to be the next New York Giants head coach. So take it with a grain of salt. But this was his report. The Giants are looking to trade wide receiver Kadarius Toney. They're making calls on what they can get for the former 2021 first-round pick. And this was the most telling part, in my opinion. He said the Giants are close to moving on from Kadarius Toney. They are investigating a way to how they can get him off of their roster right now. I want to appreciate everybody that's clicked on today's video. Give us a like because it supports the channel. The more likes we get on the show, the more uh, YouTube is going to push this out to other Giants fans. And we're trying to get this video big. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Until next time, go Giants.